Welcome to Sports Ramble. My name's Joe Silik, and I'm joined by my host, Corbin Rush. We're missing Dennis this fine morning, but we don't know if he might be popping on a little bit. We'll see what happens. Today we're talking about college football playoff, college football championship, Daniel Jones being the best quarterback in the NFC East. Corbin's an idiot for that one. And possibly the Sean McVay retiring situation, but we'll get into all that and some more.
Yeah. So I jumped the gun, I think, a little bit on the Daniel Jones being the best quarterback in the NFC East. I was actually going to come on here and say that Daniel Jones is the best quarterback in the NFC, but I think that was a little aggressive of a take. So I will say I think he's the second best quarterback in the NFC East, and Jalen Hurts is first. So I'm not entirely sure how that's going to go over today, but we're going to talk about it, Joe, because you've had a problem with my quarterback takes for a very long time now.
You just like to throw these quarterbacks from wherever and anywhere together as like a comparison on two totally different teams with two totally different personnel. And I just don't understand how you can go down to two interceptions being the difference between these two quarterbacks from two totally different organizations and be like, oh, this one's clearly better. I just don't get how you can just automatically do that based on stats alone.
Nine different interceptions, nine more interceptions. But so here's my thought process. First, I'll go into why, what I think about the quarterback position in your division, and then I'll work my way into the Daniel Jones side of the argument for myself. The best quarterback usually wins the division. Okay. Pretty much across the board. This year it's a little different. I think Aaron Rodgers, but again, Aaron Rodgers is kind of you can see he's fading away from his prime. I think Kirk Cousins is going to win that division though. And Kirk Cousins has played better than Aaron Rodgers this year. So in a snapshot, the best quarterback, yes. In a snapshot, the best quarterback in that division has won. Let's move over to the Cardinals. Kyler Murray's been hurt. They're on their third string quarterback, fourth string now, I think.
Who knows?
So maybe it's a little different in that situation because this year the Rams have been on their third string quarterback. They're on Baker Mayfield, who came in halfway through the season. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Cardinals, they've had issues with Kyler Murray staying healthy. Arguably, Geno Smith is the best quarterback in that division now, but I would say Jimmy G was the better quarterback. He's just more consistent. He's proven himself. So
Brock Purdy is him too. So
Brock Purdy has really shown himself to be a legit contender. So again, the best quarterback in the division in a snapshot, maybe didn't win that division, but at least the second best quarterback won that division. Same thing. Patrick Mahomes wins his division. Josh Allen wins his division. Joe Burrow is going to win his division. Justin Herbert, not as good as Patrick Mahomes. So
yeah,
again,
well, Brady winning the NFC South too.
Brady winning the NFC South. Jalen Hurts winning the NFC East. I mean, so there's a lot of examples where the first or second best quarterback win the division pretty much throughout the NFL.
Okay, but then let's go to the NFC East.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm. In my opinion, Daniel Jones has the potential to be the best quarterback in the NFC East, and he's right now the second best quarterback in the NFC East.
But that's the thing, you just said potential to be, and it doesn't mean that he is.
Yeah, but he is the second best quarterback in the NFC East right now.
He's tied for second, in my opinion.
Dak disappoints me consistently with what he has around him. So I went this morning in the past couple of days, I've been going on Pro Football Focus, Skip Bayless's favorite stat website. And
okay, you're trying to skip now?
I know I am. It's awful, but just without the insensitivity and just disgusting human being that he is, filthy, grimy.
Okay, all right.
So through week 8, right? So we haven't. This is just the latest update I could find on Pro Football Focus. The New York Giants. Do you want to know what their offensive line rating is through week 8?
What is it?
32nd or 31st? 31st. They have the 31st ranked offensive line through week 8. Do you know what the Dallas Cowboys is?
Middle of the pack, I would assume.
Even the Washington Commanders are 21st. The Dallas Cowboys are 15th.
Yeah, middle of the pack. What did I say?
Middle of the pack, which is better than 31st. And you know who has the first ranked offensive line in the NFL?
Who?
The Philadelphia Eagles. They're ranked number 1 in the NFL.
Well, they fixed that up a little bit.
I'm just saying. So there's your biggest thing. They're time throw in the pocket. Daniel Jones has one of the most the highest sack counts in the NFL this year, and he does not hold on to the ball. I've watched him play. The guy tries to get rid of the ball because he's getting creamed every play.
Yeah.
Second thing I want to go to the wide receiving core, right? What would you say the Giants wide receiving core rank is through week 15 or
Not outstanding.
32nd in the NFL?
Yeah.
They're ranked 32nd in the NFL. Do you know what the Dallas Cowboys rank is?
It's probably pretty high because they got some weapons.
They're also ranked 15th in the NFL. I think that's a little low, but I think it's
That
because
is a little low.
their wide receiver 3 really hurts them, I think.
Who?
But Noah
Who
Brown. Noah Brown.
Oh, that's you said through what week?
Through week 8. So this is
okay.
Yeah. The offensive line was through week 15. I'm sorry, and the wide receivers was through week 8. I got those.
You see with T.Y. Hilton now.
Yeah, yeah. So I think they probably top 10. I would say.
Yeah,
that's a big change. Big change there. So I don't know. I just you look at what Daniel Jones has done even this year, and the Eagles are 4th. The Eagles are ranked 4th. So you have your Daniel Jones right now is competing with by far the worst wide receiving core in the NFC East, and it's not close. And also, not even that, the worst wide receiving core in the NFL. And yet,
yeah.
And let's just take a look at his passing stats. And granted, Dak missed 5 games, so it's not apples to oranges here. Because
that is kind of a big deal. I'll give you that point. That is a big deal that Dak missed 5 games and he still has more interceptions.
He has 9 more interceptions. Dak has 14 interceptions this year.
And here's the thing. I will say he's been throwing almost consistently 2 to 3 interceptions, probably about, I think, 2 a game, right?
Yeah.
But at least one of those interceptions has been not his fault almost every game. Every time I've watched the Cowboys on TV, I'm not trying to defend Dak because I'm still not a big Dak fan, but I still think he's better than Daniel Jones. And I still like Daniel Jones on the Giants. Yeah. It's the thing is, I don't have a problem with either of these 2 quarterbacks on either of these 2 teams. I just think Daniel Jones on the Giants is not as good as Dak Prescott on the Cowboys.
I don't know. I guess we should have prefaced this whole debate is why the Giants should keep Daniel Jones as their franchise quarterback. So we got a little deep into the weeds there. We forgot to mention that, but we'll put it in the title. You guys will kind of know from there. But I'm just saying, because there's been a lot of talk about moving Daniel Jones this offseason, moving him and trying to get a younger quarterback in. I just think Daniel Jones could be the guy. I think he has all the potential in the world. I think this is the first time he's had a solid head coach. Let's just go back through his coaching tree.
Oh, God, let's not.
So he starts off, he gets drafted by Pat Shurmur and Mike Shula as his offensive coordinator. They last 1 year. And then next year, so new offensive coordinator, new head coach, who's never had a head coaching job in the NFL. He was a special teams coach in New England. Joe Judge gets brought in with 8-8 Jason Garrett, who I don't think knows how to coach offense in general.
All he does is clap.
He's Coach Clap. And Daniel Jones deals with him for 2 years. But Jason Garrett was fired. They brought in Freddie Kitchens, who was awful in the NFL as a head coach, and then bring him in as an offensive coordinator, who both get fired the next season. So now this is the first time Daniel Jones has even had a competent head coach and offensive coordinator. And this is Brian Daboll's first year as a head coach. And we know he's a quarterback whisperer, but still, it's his first season as a head coach. Daniel Jones has been through it more than any other quarterback in the NFC East. He's dealt with the New York media better than any quarterback in the NFC East could, maybe than the NFL could, because the New York media is brutal.
Dealt with the media better?
The New York media.
I disagree.
The New York media?
Maybe the New York media themselves, because they've been going for his life. But here's the thing. It's we can keep going. But it all comes down. Honestly, I'm not quite sure. I haven't dug into this as much as you have. Mm-hmm. Who does Daboll want as his quarterback?
He wants Daniel Jones.
Then why is this even a question? Because he is the quarterback. Like you said, he's the quarterback whisperer. Look what he did with Josh Allen, right?
Right.
Turn him into a MVP candidate, all-star athlete on the football field, right?
Right.
He is the guy. Daboll needs to figure out how to make Daniel Jones the next Josh Allen.
Right. I mean,
it sounds simple, but it's not. I understand that, but we'll see what happens.
I think he has the potential. I'm just I think this talk about Daniel Jones being replaced is ridiculous. I think he's proven himself this year. I think he has the potential to be the best quarterback in the NFC East moving forward. I think the Giants made the playoffs this year. In Brian Daboll's first year. There's just
the reason they made never mind.
Well, you get into it.
The only reason they made the playoffs this year is because they tied the Commanders 1 week, then 2 weeks later they beat the Commanders in a weird upset game. That the whole streak, whoever designed the schedule for the NFC East this year did a horrible job. Washington plays
I agree.
Giants, bye week, Giants. 3 weeks of just talking about the Giants is way too much, and you shouldn't have back-to-back games like that for the Commanders. Anywho, they beat the Commanders 1.5 times, let's just say like that, with like the Commanders shouldn't even been in the playoff conversation to begin with, starting the season off at 1-4. Like,
yeah,
it feels like the only reason the Giants are there is kind of like, oh, here you go, you kind of just made it in because the NFC East and the NFC is just kind of so wishy-washy right now. With you either have these high caliber teams or everyone else just sucks.
yeah. It's been a weird year in general. Like it's just been very strange, like throughout the NFL. But I don't know. I'm not understanding where all the hate, like, and a lot of people.
To be honest, I don't either. But I don't think Daniel Jones. I think he should stay in New York because I don't think there's anyone to replace him right now.
There's not anyone to replace him. They're not going to have enough have a high enough draft pick to
exactly
warrant any of the quarterbacks coming out. That would be better than him.
And they're going to arrest him this weekend.
Yeah,
they're going to arrest him today because they don't want him to get hurt for the playoffs. It's like if you're going to arrest your quarterback that you don't think is supposed to be there, like it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous. And the reason I like compare him to Dak Prescott again, or Taylor Heineke or Jalen Hurts is because I think you have to be the best or second best quarterback in your division to win the division. I think that's a necessity. If your organization wants a chance to make it to the playoffs or win your division, you have to have the second or first best quarterback in your division. And I think he has the potential to be the first best quarterback in his division. I think he has the potential to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFC. And I think right now, in a snapshot, he's the second best quarterback in his division. Dak is not that good. And I'm not on the Dak train. I'm not sold with him. He has his moments where he's like amazing. And I like Dak. I think he's a really good human being. I think he's extremely inconsistent throughout the season. I think he struggles a lot in big moments. I don't know. Dak disappoints me when I need him most. And for some reason, Daniel Jones gets it done. And the reason I say this is because I hated him through the first week because they beat the Titans in that last second drive. And I was irate. And he's done nothing but prove me wrong since. I mean, or prove me right, like being a guy since. I mean, they're making the playoffs this year. I think that's a big thing. So that's kind of what I have to say about Daniel Jones. I think he needs to stay in New York. He needs to be the guy. He has the potential to be the best quarterback in the NFC East and one of the best in the NFC because the NFC's quarterback, like what's going on there is awful compared to the AFC.
Yeah.
So besides like Jalen Hurts and Brock Purdy.
I think my internet was kind of getting a little bit. You were cutting out on me for a little bit, so I'm not quite sure exactly what you said. But all I know is that Dak Prescott is a guy in Dallas, but he's also could be their Achilles heel. I don't think he's the weakest spot on that team, but it's hard to defend the guy when he is throwing all these picks. I mean, he's making all these game decisions that are not working out. It's hard to defend him, even though I want to. Like you said, you like him as a person, as a player, but maybe just not for that team. I think he is a franchise quarterback in Dallas. He just needs to tweak some of his game a little bit.
Yeah.
I think there is still some growing for Dak Prescott to do. I mean, he got paid and then started performing less, just like Zeke. And that's something that Jerry Jones needs to address too, because, Jerry Jones is the face of the Dallas Cowboys. He's built this empire of a franchise.
Yeah.
And he's the one writing the checks at the end of the day. So I think it's something that he needs to address with them. And it's going to be it's going to be really interesting playoffs to see how these, we can speculate all day long about what quarterback's going to perform in the playoffs, but we don't know until we see them. Because there's a lot of these teams, we could see them make a run in these playoffs, and we don't know what's going to happen. Wildcard weekend is going to be a damn good playoff weekend.
It's going to be awesome. I'm really, really looking forward to it. This is going to be a great year this has been a great year for NFL football. There's been a lot of parity too. Like everyone thought the Bills were going to come in and run through the NFL, and they've had a few losses, and Cincinnati's kind of picked up right where they left off. They're playing out of their minds.
They had a little bit of a slow start this season, though.
They did, but I also attribute that to Joe Burrow, like having he had his pancreas removed. Is that the one that you can have removed?
No, I think it was appendicitis.
Yeah, maybe you can't remove your pancreas, but he had his appendix removed, and that's a big deal. And he came off that. He wasn't able to do a lot of offseason training. He looked terrible in the first game and still had them in a position to win. So, granted, that's when the Steelers were starting Mr. Trubisky. So, take that for what you will. But Kenny Pickett might be a guy.
Who knows? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, they Steelers, I think, really just have to win today and they're in the playoffs, aren't they?
I think so. I mean, somehow Mike Tomlin gets it done, man. Every
Every
year,
season.
like this season, it looked like it was going to be a flop. Like this is going to be it because he's never gone under 500.
No. I
And
mean,
I
granted, he
thought,
had Ben Roethlisberger for how many years?
true. I still don't, Big Ben was. I don't think he had the biggest arm, but he just played like out of
He
his
was
mind.
like towards the end of his career, was a good game manager. He wasn't
Yeah,
making crazy big plays. Him trying to run the ball was hilarious to watch. But
yeah. That's still a scary, man. Though, if that guy's bearing down on me, then
whew,
I'm probably going to be a little bit afraid. But yeah,
mm,
it's just like I don't know. I'm excited for the playoffs. I think it's going to be really interesting. I don't know how we got like kind of walked over onto that topic, but I'm really looking forward to it. So, but
yeah, it's gonna be like you want to start moving on to talk about Sean McVay.
yeah, actually, I do want to talk about Sean McVay.
So here's my thing about that is like we'll see tomorrow, Monday, January 9th. What is this? I don't know. The NFL calls it something where all these head coaching jobs open up, everyone gets fired, everyone gets moved around. We're gonna see a lot of this happening, I think, this offseason. We've already seen with the Colts, the Broncos, Carolina,
Mhm.
all these teams losing their head coach. We're gonna see a few more, I think, on Monday.
I think the average per year is like 8 NFL coaches lose their job. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's like the average like thing. So average
Now,
like cycle. So
I'm not saying Sean McVay is gonna get fired because I don't know what his contract looks like.
he's
I
not
don't
going
know.
to get fired. He's not going to
No,
get fired. You don't win a Super Bowl, have a bad year the next year because your starting quarterback tears his elbow in half or tears his
yeah,
neck in half or whatever that injury is.
concussed and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you have to go down, sign a guy, Baker Mayfield. I don't think you get fired because of the circumstances that surrounded the season. It's just a terrible series of events that happened this season. I don't think he gets
yeah, but
fired.
it's pretty bad how bad they ended up being though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Now, Sean McVay, I think everyone kind of wants him, from what I've heard at least, he should not retire this season. We don't want to see him end on this. If he was going to
No.
retire, he should have done it at the end of after the Super Bowl. He should have
Yeah.
left on this high note, left his legacy intact. Like he's still really young.
Yeah, he's
I mean, he
really
could be
young.
coaching another 20 years, or maybe not 20, but
Yeah.
15 years probably in this league if he wanted to.
Mhm.
But I think, I mean, the money is everything. Money talks, right? So he might
Yeah.
go. I think Fox has gave him an offer on a broadcasting job, just like Brady. Um, so we'll see what
Mhm.
he ends up deciding. I think he should stay in LA, continue to coach the Rams. He built that, let's be real. They just moved there not that long ago.
Yeah.
He kind of building a culture for the LA Rams.
And he's a great culture builder.
And
Like that's the thing.
exactly, I wouldn't want, there's not another single head coach I would want to build a culture than Sean McVay.
Yeah. Yeah. Guy's electric, dynamic in
Exactly.
meeting or in interviews, meetings. Like, I mean, the guy's fantastic personality. So, but you hit on the age thing real quick, not to like cut you off, Joe, but
Mhm.
um, Bill Belichick is 70 years old and he's still doing it. Sean McVay is 36.
Yeah.
He's a Sean McVay older than Sean McVay, and he's still coaching. Like, this guy has won a Super Bowl at, I guess he was 35 when they won, and like he's accomplished an unbelievable amount and has as his time as a head coach. He's only 36 years old. He has, like you said, he has a Sean McVay worth left of coaching career.
If he
Like
wanted to, yeah.
if he wanted to. So, and I think he's a fantastic head coach. And like you said, we want to see him go out on a high note with how good he's been, with how productive he's been throughout his career.
But it's hard to
And
see a high note after this disappointing season.
yeah, I mean, you don't know if Matt Stafford's coming back, you assume, and you don't know like what the future is. You spent all that capital. They were so top heavy. They're old. They have no money. They have no draft picks because they traded all the way to go all in on that one season. And everyone talked about it. They're like, if
It
you're going to
worked.
win, you have to win this year because this is the year that's got to happen. Because after
Exactly.
this, everybody's going old. Everybody's going to get injured. You don't have any
Mhm.
room to sign anybody else. You have no room to sign backups. All your cap space is used up. So like,
And they did it, and they did. That's kind of what a lot of like. It's a risky play what they did last year with signing all these crazy contracts, 1 year deals, whatever you want to call it.
yeah.
And then they went all in, right? They got rid of picks, this, that, and the other to win the Super Bowl. They got what they wanted. They brought a Super Bowl. They brought the Lombardi to LA, which I think they really that team needed to rebuild that
Build their
fan
fan
base.
base. Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, I can't. I'm not upset about how they won the Super Bowl or the fact that they won it or anything like that. It's just it's going to be tough for them to rebuild in the next 1, 2, maybe even 3 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
If
That
Stafford's depending on what Stafford does. He said he's
yeah.
playing next year. He did say that in his wife's podcast or blog or something, I do
Hmm.
believe.
Yeah. We're just going to be something we're going to have to wait and see. But I don't want to see him go out on this. I think he's going to be great on television. But I would like to see him have a good season before he made his exit from
Yeah,
professional football.
exactly. Of course. I think anyone would.
So,
Everyone I
yeah.
don't know anyone that doesn't like Sean McVay.
Yeah. He seems like just the guy seems electric. Everybody says he's electric. Like he's a very good motivator. He gets everybody ready to play. Like he helps build the culture there, like we talked about. So it's just, I don't know. I want to see him one more year, see what he can do. So, I mean, there's going to be a lot of head coaching positions open this offseason. Maybe he just moves from LA. I don't know. I doubt he moves from LA. He seems like stuck there, but
Speaking of head coaching, moving around,
Sean
you see that
Payton.
the Denver Broncos
Yes, sir.
they picked up the phone, gave
New
good old
Orleans.
New Orleans Saints a call. Said, hey, would you guys mind if we called Sean Payton up and give him a look around the facility, see what he likes.
See, let him meet old Jelly Brain Russ over here. See if he can whip him back into shit.
Mr.
That was
Unlimited. I don't know.
uh,
Why would Sean Payton want to go to Denver of all places?
fantastic defense,
So,
Russell Wilson, and a fantastic
so,
receiving core. I
so.
think he can fix that offensive line.
I'm pretty sure Sean Payton said, like, I want to go somewhere where there's like a beach and it's nice and warm.
Fair. But I don't know. Like there's potential there. He might not have took it seriously. And I'm sure Colin Cowherd has Sean Payton on every Monday. So I'm sure they're gonna try to talk about that as much as they can. But I don't know. It's just we're gonna have to wait and see that. And my screen just okay. So I'm still here. Okay, perfect.
You're sure.
Okay, I didn't know my
Had
computer
technical
shut off
difficulties today. We'll be all right.
again. But I didn't know when that happens. I don't know if it shuts down or what. But Sean Payton, I don't know if he will choose to go to Denver. I think there's a lot of potential in Denver. I think he could find a home there. But like you said, he's getting older. You really want to live in the Mile High City where it's going to snow
he even
46
said,
inches.
he wants to be. There's a chance he goes back to New Orleans. I mean,
yeah. And New Orleans hasn't even been that bad this year. I mean, well, they've been bad, but they haven't been as bad as I thought they were going to be.
The NFC South is so bad.
Also, that's terrible that Jameis Winston lost his starting spot because of an injury. I think Jameis is not a bad.
See, I don't know. I have mixed feelings. Like I said this in the last podcast. Is New Orleans even on TV anymore?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
did they even have? I don't recall seeing a primetime game. I'm sure there was, but I just don't
the
recall flipping through and seeing a primetime game with them in it.
Yeah, the only guy I even know that was on New Orleans is Chris Olave, and that's because
Taysom Hill.
was Taysom Hill. But I only person I kept up with Chris Olave because he was my fantasy wide receiver. So that's how much I know about the Saints situation, what's going on down there. But yeah, it's interesting to see. So Joe, do you want to talk a little bit about the major game we have going on tomorrow?
I don't know what you're talking about. What major game?
I don't know. It's supposedly
the biggest game of the year.
You want to say that in January? Biggest game of the year?
Well, okay, it's season. All right, calm down.
But we have a team full of 5 stars versus a team full of 3 stars.
And a hope and a dream.
And a hope and a dream. And a puncher's chance, baby. They're just swinging for left field. But I seen a TikTok, and it was, that anybody who is on TikTok, that sound where it's I'd rather fight army full of lions led by a sheep than an army of sheep led by a lion. Well, the lion is Max Duggan. And not to say that Stetson Bennett is a sheep. I think Stetson Bennett is better than that. You've earned more respect than being the sheep. But let's be real, Stetson. You're 5'9.5", and you just don't have the biggest arm. But you get it done. You get it done when it needs to happen. And you've led your team back-to-back years to the playoff. You've overcome a lot of adversity, Stetson, and I respect you for that. But
I think a big point is this will be the first team to go back-to-back in the championship since the CFP was a thing.
That is true. And I think they kind of got what everyone would consider would be a give-me game, right? TCU does not have the guys up front.
Just how we said Michigan would just stomp all over TCU.
But unfortunately, I'm going to be cheering for TCU in this game. I know I'm an
Of
SEC
course.
guy, but I think 49 states and half of that one state, 49 and a half states are going to be cheering for TCU. I think it's going to be Athens versus the world, but I don't know, man. I want TCU to win this game, but in my heart of hearts, deep down inside, I think I know what's going to happen, and I don't think it's
Hey,
going to be pretty.
I
But
said this
you
on the
never
last
know.
podcast, or maybe 2 podcasts ago. I said I'm not going to be embarrassed again with my outlandish take saying Georgia's going to roll over TCU. I'm calling TCU by 3, just because if I'm wrong, at least I don't really care.
Yeah, I think Georgia wins by 3 touchdowns. I think it's like 30. I think it's I don't know. I don't think TCU can stop Georgia, so I'm gonna say Georgia put up 42 on Ohio State's defense.
Yeah,
I'll say 56 to 31, 56-31.
I hope you're wrong. I really do.
I hope I'm wrong
And
too.
you hope you're wrong too. Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong too, but
I'm not even going to give a score. I just want to say TCU by 3. I want it to come down to a last second hope and a prayer like the Ohio State game did.
yeah. If TCU the what TCU is going to have to do is going to be exactly what they did to Michigan. They're going to have to come out firing. They can't be hesitant. They can't be scared. They're going to have to come out. I mean, obviously, we've seen that Georgia's secondary is a little susceptible to big plays. Quentin Johnson, you're going to have an outstanding game. Max Duggan, you're going to have to play the best game you've ever played in your life.
Duggan, I still can't. It's just, maybe just the dude's face. He just looks terrified.
He always looks terrified. Yeah,
it's so weird.
but he shows up, and you know what? He gets on the field, and it's pure determination in that guy's eyes. Like,
Absolutely,
he's not
100%.
scared one bit, man. He's ready to go to war with these guys.
Mm-hmm. And I
Quick
think the
intermission
team
real
chemistry
quick.
that they have. What'd you say?
Quick intermission real quick. For y'all of you who thought I was really dressed up, I messed up my tie. I'm wearing shorts, and I also have Crocs on. So I just feel like I need to say that. We're talking about college football, and I'm living the college dream right now.
There you go. Hope and a prayer.
Hoping a prayer. But
I
no,
don't
yeah.
know.
I don't know. I want TCU to win. I think they have a chance. I think Quentin Johnson's going to have to play in absolutely sun Kelly Ringo.
Yeah,
And I think Max Duggan's going to have to be top of his game, like I just
of
said.
course.
And they're just going to have to give him just a second of time, like just a possibility to like get the ball out because Georgia's front is elite. And I'm just worried about Max Duggan. But again, Michigan's defensive line has been great all year.
Mm-hmm.
And TCU just gave him enough time, not a ton of time because he didn't have a ton of time in the pocket, but they gave him just enough time to get the ball out and make a play. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what
And
happens.
his
But
ball
yeah,
release is like effective and efficient. Like he's quick with that thing.
yeah, hey, he's got some good velocity on the ball. He's pretty
I think
accurate.
TCU's defense is going to have to make up like the difference in
Mhm.
this game because I think TCU's offense could theoretically get it done even against Georgia's defense. I think they could get their scores they need to get, but that TCU defense is going to have to come up with some stops against that, like because the steamrolling of a Georgia offense they have, they're going to have to come up with at least a handful of stops against them because if not, it's going to get real ugly real quick.
That's what I'm worried about. It's all dependent on how they come out ready to play. It's the same thing. Like I said, if
The first quarter sets the tone for this whole game.
exactly. And if Georgia, it was kind of what I said about Ohio State, Georgia. I think I mentioned that like if Ohio State comes out hot and Georgia comes out flat, this is going to be a game. And it was a game. It was closer
That's
than I thought it was
exactly what
going to
happened.
be, either any like than I thought it would ever be. But like Ohio State came out really hot. Georgia came out really flat, and Ohio State should have won that game. Ohio State was a better team that day. And the same thing's going to happen with TCU, Georgia. TCU is going to have to come out extremely hot, and Georgia's going to have to come out with their backups. Like it's gonna, like Georgia's going to have to come out flat as a soda that's been sitting out in the sun for 3 weeks.
And
So
we could very well see that happening because Georgia knows how much better they are than TCU. Let's, stat-wise.
I'm just worried because Georgia has all that motivation from almost losing to Ohio State.
Yeah, but they already won their championship last year. And
That's true. It's hard to stay motivated through years. That's
but
why
they've
Nick
also
Saban's
been there before, so it's kind of like it's a give and take. There's a lot of points to be made, and we'll just have to find out what happens tomorrow night.
But absolutely amazing story from TCU. I mean, they weren't even ranked in the top 25 to start the year. So I think they're
Your quarterback was having heart surgery.
yeah, like, Incredible story by TCU. We're all cheering for you, Max Duggan. Get it done. Get it done. And I'm an SEC guy, but I want to see TCU win. But Joe, is there anything else that you'd want to hit on in the sports world?
Watch the Raiders Chiefs game yesterday.
I did not.
You did not. Did you see that play? Maybe
I was cleaning my living room.
Wow. Did you see that play? The Chiefs come out. They're literally doing a whirlpool. They're in the huddle. They're just spinning around. And then they all break off and do their thing, line up. Crazy formation, right? Like Mahomes is the running back or something like that. I don't even understand. Snap the ball. It's a trick play. They're literally just walking over the Raiders at this point. They're having fun. This is some schoolyard bullshit they're doing out back. And they score a touchdown. It's like, wow. I think the Chiefs are going to be a serious problem. I mean, maybe the Raiders are just that bad now.
Well,
I don't know.
You got to think Derek Carr's benched. And Derek Carr's like probably the third best quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah. So I just want to talk about yesterday's game a little bit.
You admitted it. I got him to admit it.
Whatever. I was kind of just dismissing you. Calm down.
You calm down.
No, but like the Chiefs are going to be a problem in the playoffs. The Raiders, who knows? Now, I want to also talk about, did you watch the last night game with the Titans and Jags?
Real quick before we hit on that game, because I'm not ready to talk about that just yet. Patrick Mahomes, can you tell that my computer screen went off? Patrick Mahomes, because Dennis is here, I can say this. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. And
I don't know who. Okay, well, actually, I don't think he would argue with you that much.
He says we will not praise Patrick Mahomes on this podcast. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback I've ever seen throw the football. The guy is insane. Like, seriously.
His awareness is 10,000. 10,000 awareness.
That guy is next level, man. Like, his awareness, his arm talent, his escapability.
That little shovel pass he keeps doing right before he crosses the line.
It's unreal. Like, and no one seems to be able to figure it out because you can't coach off script. What he does, you can't coach because he plays at a different speed in game, and he should be the MVP every year. We're having the same problem we had with LeBron for like that 10, 15-year stretch where LeBron put up stat lines good enough to be the MVP every year, but it's because it was LeBron and it was expected of him to be an MVP. He had to have an above MVP level season to be considered for the MVP. And we're seeing the same thing with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes put up like 55 touchdowns and like 5,000. He has the potential to break the passing yards record. Again, one more game this year, but still. And like Patrick Mahomes, every season he puts up an MVP season. He should win it every year, but we get so used to it. But okay, now that I've stalled long enough, I guess we can talk about the Jaguars-Titans game.
Did you watch that game last night?
No, and I'll tell you why I didn't watch it, because I knew exactly what was going to happen. My buddy was on the phone. I was talking FaceTime with my buddy, and he was like, dude, y'all are winning. Y'all are up 16-10. Like, it looks good for y'all. And I was like, just watch, man. I said, just watch.
Did you? Okay, hold on. Mm-hmm. Dobbs, right? Yeah. I love Dobbs. Everyone loves Dobbs.
Who doesn't love Dobbs? That's one of my favorite quarterbacks from Tennessee, man. Tennessee guy.
What a guy, right? I don't think it was a fumble.
I didn't see the play.
I really don't.
I didn't see the play.
So, hand moving forward, ball's still in hand, but it's like rolling out of the hand as it's moving forward. Because he's getting hit, obviously.
Yeah.
And the ball goes like 10 yards forward. And then they just, scoop and score. And it's like they reviewed it and they still called it a fumble. And I'm like, because they let it play out, which I'm okay with them letting it play out instead of calling a possible scoring play dead. I'm all for that in the NFL.
Right.
But I don't know about the review. They reviewed it real quick, too. It just doesn't sit right with me because Tennessee should have won that game. And I'm not sold. I don't care about Doug Peterson's season with Jacksonville. And I don't care about Trevor Lawrence. I'm not sold on the Jacksonville Jaguars being a playoff team. I really am not.
I don't think they are this year. I think they need one more year. Trevor Lawrence is the truth, though. Trevor Lawrence has arrived. And even though he
never liked Trevor Lawrence at Clemson, and I still don't like him at Jacksonville.
He's been the best quarterback in the NFL for like the last 6 weeks.
Okay. It's fair to say, because look at their run. They've gone on a crazy run. But I still don't. There's just something about it.
Listen, what happens with the Titans is always going to happen with the Titans. We are going to look fantastic, and then we're going to blow it. Just like last year in the AFC divisional round against the Bengals.
Vrabel leave?
No. Vrabel's going to stay. No, I love Vrabel, and Vrabel's the only reason this season hasn't been a complete like dumpster fire because it could have been. Malik Willis, I don't know, man. Like I really stuck up for this guy. I gave a lot of like this season. I really was like, give Malik a chance. Let's see what he can do. And now they're not even giving him a chance when the season's lost. I don't know. That doesn't sit right with me, man. It makes me feel like there's something going on that behind the scenes that we don't see, and that makes me nervous. Like, are we gonna have to draft another quarterback again? Are we gonna have to trade for a quarterback? Do we pick up Hendon Hooker? Does Hendon Hooker fall to the second round? Do we try to pick him up then? It's like there's a lot of questions up there. So like, I think we get rid of Ryan Tannehill. Please get rid of Ryan Tannehill. I've been off the Ryan Tannehill train. I don't like Ryan Tannehill. I want him gone. Get him out of my sight. Please.
He's the same kind of like Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan, people that you need to just get out of your organization now.
Just let him go. He's been great for us, and I'm not taking away from what he's done. He's been excellent for us. But now he's done. He's done in Tennessee. He needs a reset. We need a reset. We still have Derrick Henry's getting old. We're going to have to draft another running back. Oh, there's so many things that are going wrong with Tennessee right now. I don't even want to think about.
But at least we got that in the offseason.
What was that Traylon Burks play, though? I saw that play. Was that ruled like a forward pass, an illegal forward pass? Or
honestly, I don't know.
But it was crazy.
I didn't watch that. I didn't see that early.
Yeah. Honestly, I think Traylon Burks is going to arrive too. I think he's excellent. But all right, we will be back Thursday, which will upload Friday, and we will talk about the results of the college football championship game. Hopefully TCU wins. Thank you guys for stopping in with us. Hopefully Big D will join us next time. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn that notification bell on, share it with your friends, and let us know what you guys want to see next. Thank you guys for tuning in. See ya.